They say Bayou Mare was cursed long before the first settler built a home along its edge. Long before maps dared to name it, the locals called it La Mare Kirby, the Crooked Pond. A place of strange fogs, flickering lights in the dark, and sounds that didn't belong. Some thought it was haunted. Others believed something older lived there. But none could have predicted what would come to define it, the legend of the Crooked Lady. If you walk near the swamp after sundown, you might hear her first, bones creaking like dry branches snapping under pressure. Then comes the cold, sudden, and unnatural, even in the middle of a humid Louisiana summer. And if you're truly unlucky, you'll see her. A woman impossibly bent, her joints twisted in angles no body should allow. She moves with a slow, dragging limp, head tilted sideways, as if listening for your breath. The earliest documented sighting came in 1872, scrawled in the torn pages of a trapper's journal. He described being stalked by something not animal, not woman, but a crooked thing that wept as it crawled. His final entry ended abruptly with the words, "She's in the water. She's watching me." His body was never found. Only his boat, drifting in circles near the swamp's deepest bend. But the origin of the Crooked Lady reaches back further, tied to the tale of Evangeline Mare, a woman feared in life and cursed in death. Evangeline arrived in Bayou Mare in 1839, seeking solitude after a life marked by loss. Some say she was a midwife, others whisper she was a healer, or perhaps a witch. What is known is that she lived alone in a small cabin deep in the marshland, tending to herbs, delivering babies, and muttering prayers in a forgotten tongue. Children dared each other to glimpse her silhouette behind her window. Parents warned them never to stray too close. Then came the deaths, a string of infant fatalities, unexplained illnesses, livestock wasting away. Whispers grew into accusations. Fear turned to rage. One stormy night, a mob of men from the nearby village marched into the bayou. They dragged Evangeline from her home, beat her savagely, and bent her limbs until they snapped like twigs. She was screaming, they say, until the water silenced her. Her body was left to sink into the muck. The next morning, her home was gone, burned to the ground, and the bayou, still as glass. But Evangeline did not stay dead. Weeks later, the first sighting occurred. A young boy claimed he saw a broken woman crawling through the reeds. At first, the townsfolk dismissed it until the boy vanished the next day. His body was discovered days later, limbs contorted in unnatural ways, mouth agape in a silent scream. It was then the name, the Crooked Lady, began to echo through the community. Over the next 100 years, sightings would continue, always the same. A disfigured woman, pale as bone, dripping with swamp water, whispering in the dead of night. A fisherman named Lucas Thibodeau once told his wife he heard a woman crying by the bank. Thinking someone needed help, he approached with a lantern. What he saw made him drop it. He claimed her arms bent backward, her neck twisted fully around as she stared at him with empty eye sockets. He ran. Lucas never fished again. Then there was Claire Duval, a camper who vanished in 1974. Her boyfriend was found unconscious by their tent, with scratch marks down his face and a broken ankle. When he awoke, all he could say was, "She was walking backward, toward me." Claire's body was never recovered. Only her necklace was found, hanging from a tree at a perfect right angle. In 1997, two amateur paranormal investigators, Michael Harris and Tanya Cole, set out to film a documentary debunking the legend. They set up cameras, audio recorders, motion sensors. For hours, nothing. Then, just after midnight, one of the audio recorders captured something chilling. First, the sound of dragging steps. Then, heavy breathing. And finally, a voice, cracked and mournful. "You broke me. Now I break you." The transmission cut to static. Tanya was found 3 days later, waist deep in the swamp, alive but in shock, her arms twisted at impossible angles. She never spoke again. Michael was never found. Many believe the Crooked Lady is a spirit, cursed to wander the waters that took her life. Others say she's something worse, an ancient force that uses Evangeline's pain as a vessel, a guardian of the swamp, punishing those who trespass or disturb her domain. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. Her story continues to this day. Recent campers report waking up to see footprints circling their tents, bare, small, but angled strangely. A biologist studying frog populations reported hearing whispers in the trees, repeating his name. A drone operator lost control of his device near the bayou's edge. When recovered, the footage showed a woman standing below the drone, unmoving, her head slowly turning upward as if she sensed the camera. Locals have long stopped going near that part of Bayou. Tourists are worn away, though some still come. Fascinated, daring, or simply foolish. The town has learned to coexist with the legend. No festivities, no stories in the newspapers, just quiet fear and the occasional offering of wildflowers left by the water. And yet, the question lingers. Is she real, or just a shadow of guilt left behind by a violent past? Is the crooked lady a ghost, or the embodiment of a place soaked in sorrow? Whatever you believe, remember this: Bayou Mare holds its secrets tight, and those who seek the crooked lady often leave more twisted than they came. So what do you think? Just another ghost story, or is there something truly cursed in the waters of Bayou Mare? Let us know your theories in the comments. And if you haven't had your fill of haunted folklore, watch our next tale about the drowned children of Devil's Creek. But keep your lights on. Some legends don't end when the story does.